Hello everyone, just popping on quick. Whoever hops on, but essentially I'm going to talk and then you can either catch me now, anyone that comes in, be nice to connect with you. If you're catching me on the replay, this is what I'm going to be talking about. This morning I woke up to a verse of scripture in my mind. Hi. I woke up to the scripture that said, my mercies are new every morning. Every morning my mercies are new. Great. Good morning. Great is thy faithfulness. And I was sat there thinking, what does that mean, that my mercies are new every morning? And as I kind of like searched my heart for the understanding of what that meant, what it meant for me is every day is a new day. So it's not the same as yesterday. So every morning is a fresh page in a blank canvas. So today is a new day for you and for me, and we have the power to write in our journal or in our life book, in our story, whatever we choose. And the problem, this is what Spirit was saying to me, the problem is we tend to take what we saw in yesterday and we bring it into today. So let's say yesterday we weren't confident to step into our power. If we take that into every new day, we're never going to change. Do you see what I'm saying? So today is a new day. So you get to write in your book, in your storybook, what you would like to see today. Okay? And in changing today, you're changing your mindset. You're changing who you see yourself, how you see yourself. If you choose today to be confident and to step into your power, then the next day you're going to have more courage or strength or build a foundation and say, right, what am I doing today? And this is how growth happens, okay? I was doing a video of this a little bit earlier, and that's why I wanted to share it here. When I was, I'm going to give an example. When I was younger, about 10 years ago, now let's go right back. In my book of visions, years and years ago, I was at that point in a kind of Christian upbringing, very religious, and I kept having this vision of a woman with her hair swept to the side in lotus position, and it was all, doing yoga. And at that point in my life, yoga was considered not Christian and it was New Age and I wasn't allowed to deal with it or whatever. But I kept feeling this call to yoga. I just wanted it somehow, and I couldn't explain why, but it was here, right? Oh, hi, Soph. How are you doing your Netflix? Now you're watching Rebecca Knight on Instagram TV. Hello, Awakened 0911. So I'd seen in this book, my book of visions, this woman, and it was the back of her, and her hair was swept to the side, and she was sitting with her hands in these mudras, and it kept calling me, like yoga kept calling me. Anyway, many years later, I kind of fell out of like church environments, and I found myself discovering my own spiritual path, which does involve a lot of what I was taught, and I still have a relationship with spirit, etc. But it was very different. And I kept wanting to try a yoga class. So one day I decided to go along and participate in a class. And on my first lesson, I knew I want to teach. I want to be a yoga teacher, okay? Namaste. I wanted to be a yoga teacher, and I just knew. It was like a spark had been activated within me, and I just knew. So I went and I trained, and I got my training, and I did my exams and my practical exams, etc. It took a bit of time, but I qualified as a yoga teacher. It's one thing to have a piece of paper or a certificate that says you are a qualified yoga. What's happening? Oh, what's happening? Did you see that? I'm all shiny, there's fireworks going off. There's one thing to have the certificate. It's a totally other thing to have the confidence to then teach a whole load of other people, because I practiced it obviously with my students, the students that were also trained to be yoga teachers, but I'd never actually taught a full class of real participants, real students. So I started very small because my confidence was small, and I started teaching in my own home, about 6 women that were from the school, and there was all people that I knew, and they seemed to enjoy it. But the first time I taught, it was like wavering throat chakra, you know. I wasn't sure, and I was so nervous, and I was like, not sure if I'm confident, and I couldn't, you know, not look at my notes, and I was following everything meticulously, and I wasn't in my flow, but I was a new teacher, yeah. And then it got to a point where I kept doing this, and I had this vision of me like teaching bigger classes and being outside of this, and I had this desire, but I didn't have the confidence at all, until I was put in a position where I actually had to go and teach yoga elsewhere. I became a single mom, my life changed a bit, and the dynamics of it changed, and I had to go out and earn a bit extra. So I was kind of forced by spirit, or thrown out the nest, shall we say, to go and teach yoga. And so I applied for this job at this leisure centre, which seemed very professional and scary, but I got the job. And from there my confidence built and built until I got my own business, and now I run classes all over. I do all kinds of yoga all over the county and all sorts of stuff, and I've had so many beautiful, wonderful experiences of teaching yoga. And also I remember being told, because it's very easy to compare yourself in any sphere of life, but I was kind of comparing myself with, you know, the very professional yoga teachers, and I'm me. And I remember somebody saying, you attract your tribe, so you are the advert for the yoga class in a sense. There's many different types of yoga classes you could join, but the teacher kind of sells the class. And Sophie's here, she'll probably tell you, my class is fun, it's vibrant, it's also, there's times when we're very kind of like serious, there's been times when there's tears, there's generally a lot of laughter, but you know, that's just how it goes. But my point is, I've got to a point now where I don't need notes. I do prepare my classes, but if I was to be told, right, you've got an hour, these people would like a yoga class, I would confidently be able to teach a class. I'm not nervously, it's the same as, you know, learning to drive. When you start, you're like thinking, oh, first gear, second gear, blah, blah, blah. Love you too, Soph. So my little yogi fan here, I love you, Soph. But yes, so now this confidence is built. But from that first moment, if I'd never have taken that leap of faith, then I wouldn't be in this place where I am now, confident to teach yoga, and that's just part of who I am. This wouldn't be my reality. Going from that story, there is a point. This morning, as I was cleaning the house and texting Sophie, Spirit was downloading to me it's really strong. It's time to step into main character energy, your main character energy. And that can fill us with anxiety because we're so used to being on the sidelines. The picture that Spirit gave me was of somebody that is helping a show, should we say, on a stage. You've got the main singer or the main character or the main band on the stage with the audience watching. And some of you are like on the sidelines, behind the curtains, and you're kind of pulling the strings, you're part of the process, but you're in the background. And this is the point. If there is a desire, I wish I could be the one on stage. I wish I could have the confidence to be like that. I wish I could sing. I wish I could be in this band. I wish I could be there. I desire to be there, but I'm hiding behind the curtain. And it's the same for me. Spirit is stepping up, right? There's always a point of going more, because we are expansive beings. So this is a message for me just as much as it is for you, but it was so clear. Time for main character energy. And sometimes when we don't listen to the gentle nudge, we get pushed. So let's not wait till we get pushed, because that can feel more out of control. Obviously, we have free will. But I do think if you have a soul calling, it's going to keep knocking at your door, so to speak, right? So it's time for main character energy. I was going to say, in this video I was creating, it was like from elsewhere, I dress, my body is like, I like to dress up, like wear my bindies and my piercings, I've got tattoos. It's a way of me expressing who I am. I wear jewelry that expresses part of who I am. And it's almost like I let myself play, I let myself dress up. And if I was like, oh, what are people going to think if I look like that or sound like that? Then you're becoming a slave to everyone else's opinions of you, and you're not free. You're not free at all. You're actually caging yourself by worrying what other people think of you. And you almost have to get to a point where you like fudge it, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to show you something that I got given for my birthday. It was calling me. It's about following your soul path. Look at that beautiful, can you see? She's holding her flame, which is her heart's desire, and she's protecting it, and she's keeping it safe, and it's precious to her. She's not throwing it away or saying, I'm not going to follow that. She's not going to let that flame snuff out, right? Spirit is saying, don't let your soul purpose flame snuff out. Stop ignoring it. Stop poo-pooing it to the side and like, oh, I'll deal with you one day when I'm confident enough. When sometimes it's completely the opposite. You get the confidence after that's actually generally how it works. You get the confidence after you've thrown yourself out of the boat, you know? So that's basically what I had to hop on here and say. Follow your soul path. Don't be afraid to show up and step into that main character. It's still talking. What does main character look like for you? If you could imagine yourself in your main character mode, like a switch, what do you look like? How are you dressed? How do you feel? How are you presenting yourself? What's your posture like? What are you doing? What are you wearing? Who's surrounding you? What's the view in front of you? Who's watching you? Who's engaging with you? Who are you teaching? Who you I don't know. You get the drill. What does it look like for you in your main character mode? And sometimes it's so buried because we're so afraid of showing up that we don't actually know. So I'm prompting you to question these things, because there are at least 60% of the people that this is going to land that are going to oh, she's talking to me. She's talking to me. It's not me, it's Spirit talking to you through me. But you can't hide anymore. And I think that yearning is going to get more and more obvious. And I wanted to say something. I'm hearing the more you ignore it, the more your life almost falls apart around you and things keep going wrong, because it's a way of Spirit getting your attention, because Spirit loves you that much that it won't allow you to live a life of superficial shit. It wants you to be in your full potential. We just had Mother's Day, and I'm going to get tearful. What my daughter wrote in the card was, thank you for providing a place where us children can all be our authentic selves, and we're all so different. The only thing you ever required of us was to be kind. But I let my children thrive because not one of my children are the same. They're not going to want to do the same things. They're not sausage machines that I'm in control of. I've birthed them into this world, but who they are as a character and as a soul is entirely up to who they are as a character and a soul. My only role in this life is to give them a safe space and to encourage them to manifest into who it is that is already in them. What sort of a mother would I be if I tried to regiment, say, you do this, I know you don't enjoy that, but that's what I want you to look like. I want you to be a great mathematician and a great scientist. And they're saying, but Mum, I want to be a ballerina. No, that doesn't look good on me. That doesn't look good on you. This is who you have to be. That's the same with Spirit. Love allows people to be themselves. And you'll know those that love you because they let you be yourself. Don't know where I'm going with this, but this is for someone. If you can't be yourself around people, then question why. Because we have to be ourselves, and we have to be loved in our weaknesses, in our frailties, in our moments, in our indecision, in our fear, and in our power. You know, sometimes it's very easy for people to love you when you're in your weakness, and when they're there to support you when you're down, and people are very good at that. Sometimes people are not very good at being around you when you're more than okay, when you're shining brightly, because it might be highlighting back to them an aspect of them that isn't doing that. And it's all too easy to stay in that kind of like, oh, we can't do this because it's all the buts, right? Let people love you and let people see you in your full power and let it align naturally. I had this thing I was cleaning today, like there are people that have come and gone through my yoga class, and I don't take offense because life changes and, you know, things move around and circumstances change, or people move away, or people get different jobs. And if you were to take all of the people that kind of come and go personally, then you'd be a fool, because life is like a journey or a train, you know, and people get on to your carriages and they might travel with you for one stop. Some people come in and maybe 2-3 stops. What's that expression like? Some people with you for I don't know, a day, some people for a moment, some people for a lifetime. And, you know, the more I go through life, I've had people that have come in and we've, you know, activated and done things for one another, and then they're gone, and you don't resent that. It's they came in and they served a purpose. They might have given you the confidence, or they might have inspired you, but once you're inspired, then off you pop, you know, like the birds that let their babies fly out the nest. You can't hold on to and control what you love, you know. You've got to let your babies fly. You've got to let the spirit wants you to fly, you know. So that's kind of all I wanted to say. I hope that makes sense. I'll save it and I'll put it on all of my platforms so that everyone can hear. So those with ears to hear, let them hear. Okay. Main character vibe. Maybe journal. What does my main character look like? I'm going to go away and do it myself, because maybe there's a time for a, you know, like Madonna changes her look every so often. I feel like that. I'm like, right, what does Rebecca look like in this chapter? How does she sound? How does she feel? Because she wants to be brighter. She wants to do more. And Spirit made me watch Elsa, Frozen 2 the other day. Kept saying, watch Frozen 2, and I'd kind of forgotten it. And it's Elsa, I'm not going to give it away, finding herself and finally stepping into her power and not being afraid that her gifts need to be hidden. That's for someone. There's so much in here for people. Take it and receive it, and let it be a seed in your heart. Let it grow. Let it have its own voice that's in your ears that you cannot escape from. Let it haunt you in a good way until you make the change, because there's so much good to come. Had a vision 2 or 3 days ago. Jesus came to me. He always comes at very poignant points. There's this big rainbow background, and he said, I came to give you life, and life to the full. That's main character energy. Life to the full. We ain't talking mediocre here. We're talking full. Feel it all over me. Fullness, goodness, mercies every morning, fresh every morning. Every day's a new day. So how are you going to change yourself today? What are you stepping into? Love you lots. Bye.